Can everyone see that? Rhonda?
Yes, I can.
All right, very good, very good. All right, folks. So nothing major has changed as far as the look and feel. The modernization we did with 7.99, whatever that number is, continues on with no major changes. So, you know, the quick picks menu that we introduced, nothing has changed there. So just as far as navigating around, no major changes. So it should be a relatively smooth move up when it finally does get released. And just to answer the question top of mind probably for everyone is that yes, we're finally going to release it probably starting next week, and we'll do that in small groups. So just look for the green notification update notice at the top of your MaxxTraxx and update it just like you have in the past by yourself on your own. If you need help or would prefer for us to do it, then just call into the support team. Anyone that's a cloud user, we have to do it for you. So just let us know, or we'll keep an eye on it and we'll take care of it when you're ready. All right, so here on the service counter, let's point out some things that have changed, continued to change just on the main schedule here, and that is doing a little cleanup on the side. We got to change the way we do some views or change views, and I'll cover that in a moment. So we have the major things on the top left, which have always been there. A couple of changes there. You used to have to click quote, and then you would get the 3 different types of quotes. Well, now they're just right there front and center. The search button you no longer have to search for. It used to be in the options menu, which you'll notice here is gone from the top, very top left, where you could hit F2 or options. That has been changed, and we'll cover that in a moment. But one of those items in that F2 or options was the ability, or the search functions, which were separated based on the type of item you were searching for. Well, now they're just right here. So if we click search, we get open repair orders and closed repair orders. Before it was just previous repair orders. Well, now we can search for both open and closed, and the same items that were there, the search by options, number, date paid, PO number, and now customers front and center there as well. So that is a really nice shortcut. And then we can also search for quotes and appointments right there. All right, so some of the view options have changed just again to kind of clean things up a little bit. We used to have all the views of how you could look at a repair order or customer and vehicle that's highlighted above. You would have different search options. Just cluttering up this space down here, well, now we just have a simple checkbox. So it's the same additional views, the same 5 that we've always had down there. We just gave people the option to kind of move it out of the way, right? The customized list, that was one of the things where you would right click and choose maybe columns to show or not show. Well, now it's just right there. It says customize list. All right. Rhonda, remind me to come back to the hide stuff later. I'm not going to point that out right now. I think we'll wait until we do the action tile. All right. So the main 3 things that have been added across the top here. So on your version, you have service counter, parts counter. Well, now you'll notice there's 3 new tabs up here: appointment calendar, status workflow, and tech workflow. The appointment calendar Used to be over here on the left. It was somewhat useful, but it only presented your appointments going 30 days out. Well, now you can go month by month, forwards and backwards by navigating up here in the upper right using these navigation buttons. So we think you'll find that useful, much more useful than the old version. And of course, we circle back to today. If you are on the appointment calendar and you want to make a new appointment right from here, like say you check a certain date, you feel you can squeeze a customer appointment in here, and you can simply right click on that box and start the new appointment wizard right from there. And also, like before, you could just actually, if you want to see the detail of that day schedule, just double click on it and it takes you to that day schedule for the itemized detail. The appointment calendar was never meant to be a schedule or a detail. It's more of a bird's eye view of what's going on. And then you get your appointments added up and the hours added up based on what you put into the appointment screen. So that is the new appointment calendar. It's more prominent at the top there, and we hope you find that much more useful than the old one. Okay, next. Let me back up here. Let's talk about action tiles now. So action tiles are what we call, anywhere in Windows, when you right click on something, that's called a context menu. And previously, when you did a right click anywhere in the open screen or right clicked on the RO or press the F2 options button that used to be up there, it would present a long list, a menu in small type, right? Well, now we've expanded that. So when you do a right click, it brings up what we call an action tile. So the lettering's bigger, it stands out better for all of us, right? And we pared things down to the most essential, most used functions. So on this action tile, which I wanted to bring this up now because it's used everywhere on the schedule. So if we get down what this does, then you'll see the same thing repeated in multiple places. So on the action tile, anything that's blue, which is just like on the repair order screen, when you have it open and you can click on the customer name that's in blue or the vehicle that's in blue, same thing here. So if I click on the repair order number, it opens up my repair order for me. Or I can hit edit repair order. There's a couple, edit appointment, edit repair order. Kind of the same thing, but just a different way to get to it. Same thing, I can jump right into the customer record right from the action tile. I can view right here all the key components of the appointment or repair order, or our time in or promised time out. I can change the status right from here. So whatever statuses you have loaded into the system will appear there as choices. We have a quick little way to mark an RO as customer waiting. We can jump into, depending on where it's at in the process, we can jump in and edit our appointment. We can edit our repair order. I'm going to leave this up right now and move it to the side. But you all can see here the options that are available. Sign text, view recommended services. We can send a text or an email to the customer right from here. Someone I was introducing this to the other day liked that the Carfax service history button was available right there, quick and easy, without having to actually go into the repair order. And of course, we can print like we always used to be able to do when we did a right click. All right, the appointment screen has changed. It's more of a horizontal layout than a vertical layout. And so we're able to get more items in here. You'll probably notice things have moved around a bit. So up here, and we'll see that when we get to the info tiles, you'll see where these come in handy. So these are little alert icons we have now. They're little cars or other types of icons that denote certain things going on. So, you know, I can flip all of these on. I can check all of those, and each one of these is a little visual representation of what's going on. And so you know, this isn't different. Your quoted price, your quoted hours, the vehicle information is here. Of course, at the top, our customer name, address. You can, as always, you know, add a customer on the fly to this repair order or permanently to the customer's master record. The appointment notes, same as before. Anything you place in here will show up on the service counter, and that's the only place where the notes on the service counter come from, just for those of you who might not know. So any notes you place in here will show up, depending if you have that selected to show in your view, it will show up on the notes right prominent there on the service counter for all to see. Okay, new in version 9 is the ability to quickly add recommended services and or request for service to the repair order. So right here we can see on the left box, current recommended services, we have an alignment that we recommended they do previously. And let's say we're talking to them on the phone or they're in front of us and we ask them about that and they say, yeah, let's go ahead and do that now. All we have to do on right here in the center, these navigation buttons, we'll just move that over to the list of requests for service that we're going to perform during this appointment. So now there it is at the bottom. Maybe let's say in talking with our customer, they decide they don't want to mess with the air filter this time. So we're going to use the buttons here and do the left arrow and move it over into the recommended position. And of course, we can add some more recommendations right from here or add more requests for service. So these will be just the requests for service, not the detailed parts and labors and everything. You'll get to that when that becomes a full repair order. So I'm going to say anything to add here, Rhonda, that I missed?
Nope.
Okay. All right, back to the action tile. Did we
You want
cover?
to do the pause one here?
Yeah, let's talk about that. All right, so we have a lot of shops that perform work that lasts sometimes months or even years. So long-term restoration shops are a really good example of this. Or other types of shops that like to keep all of repair orders or appointments, things on their schedule for whatever reason. So we have the ability now to hide or what we call pause repair orders. So if you have something that you don't need taking up space on your service counter right now, you want to kind of clean things up, focus on the tasks at hand, then open up your action tile. Again, just a right click and click this down here at the bottom, pause repairs and hide appointment. And I don't know if you noticed that disappeared off of our current schedule. That is now, and this is why I wanted to wait, this filter is now available here on the left in the middle, and we can filter how we're viewing the schedule by different parameters. And one of those is whether we've selected things to be hidden or not. So the choices here are all appointments and open repair orders up to today, appointments for today only, which a lot of people, in going through the beta and discussing with people, they seem to really like that one. And then this one, show only hidden. So the one I hid a couple of moments ago, it's going to show me that one. And I'm going to bring it back up and now uncheck it. Now I'm still in my hidden view, remember, my filter. So I'm going to put back to all. And there we go. There's Pacific Motors back on the schedule. Okay. Is that good, Rhonda?
Yes, it is.
All right. So schedule, view, the detail, no major changes there except for the action tile. We covered appointment calendar. Now we're going to get to the status and tech workflow views. So what we've done is kind of created a different way to look at your schedule. Maybe it's more visual, it's more kind of prominent. Every repair order is represented by one of these info tiles. The nice thing about this is you've got key information there readily available, and we've got some indicators. And these are the little check boxes I was talking about a few minutes ago in the appointment view. So we'll cover those in a second. So the main thing about this is kind of neat is you can drag and drop. So let's say work, this one, work not started. Well, it's now started. So I want to shift this over to my work in progress column. And I'm going to let that go because I want to change something here and mention. Well, actually, I let it go. I missed my chance there. Let me do that again. I'm going to put this back into work not started. So you notice when I did that, some other empty columns showed up. So anything that doesn't current, if you have nothing in a certain status, well, it's not going to show up here, just to keep things clean and tight. But once I grab something and I want to move it into a different status, then the empty statuses are going to appear here. So see, waiting for parts is right there where I have my mouse, or I could come over here to waiting for authorization. And then we get approval, and then I'm going to put that in my work in progress now. That makes sense? All right, so on the info tiles, I mentioned earlier when we were creating the appointment, these little check boxes. So each one of those check boxes represents a little icon here. And it's just a way to have a quick visual cue as to what's going on. We are just, FYI, we are going to differentiate these colors a little bit more. So for example, if we, well, my screen tips, when you hover over, oh, I turned my screen tips off, I think. When you hover over, they mean different things. So this would be, shuttle picking up, shuttle dropping off. This one here means a car overnight. This one means, a DVI has been done, but not sent to the customer yet. The big red W means customers waiting. And I'm sure we'll come up with others as time goes on, but just know that those are going to be differentiated a little bit more because they're all kind of blue right now. So you can see on our info tile here, kind of prominent. So again, just a visual way to stay on top of what's going on in your business. Okay, Rhonda, did we cover the main points in there? Did I explain the moving things around well enough, what to do?
How about the changing of you did the moving up and down?
Oh, for the, so let's cover the statuses. Yeah, you mean the ordering of the columns?
Uh-huh.
Yes. So yes, you can change the order by going to your setups gear icon in the very top right hand corner, which I hope everyone's used to that new position since 7.9. Repair order status still in the miscellaneous list section, but in here is where you can change the ordering of your status columns. So, work not started, if I want that to appear first, right? I can just change it up and down here. And then, of course, your default status, you can set it to whatever you want. So if I change that to work not started or whatever, right? Personally, I'd like to see my appointment be the very first thing, right? Because that's how everything starts out. So that's where you do that. in the setups menu. All right. Now, along the same lines as the status workflow, we now have a tech workflow view. This is very colorful. I've been playing around with assigning colors to everybody. So we'll cover that in a moment. So in the tech workflow view, every column is a technician. And of course, you have to have them set up in their in payroll employee setups to be a technician so that they will be available here to view. And let's just jump in there real quick. In the employee record for your technicians, if you go to the miscellaneous section, this is where you can assign them a color and their sort order. Just like we can have a sort order for our statuses on the status workflow view, we can also change how we want our text ordered when we go to the tech workflow. Now, unlike in the status workflow, every box or every info tile is strictly one repair order or appointment. However, in the tech workflow, that could be one box does not necessarily mean only one repair order, because as we know, we can have multiple technicians assigned across multiple labors for each repair order. So every time a labor is assigned to a technician and involves a repair order, they're going to get their own tile for that repair order. So in this case, I have Rodney I have John assigned to this Rodney Freeman repair order, and I also have Mike assigned to this Rodney Freeman repair order. Now we can change assignments for technicians. You know, change the when we do the drag and drop, just like we can on the status workflow window, we can drag and drop technicians from one job to another. So if I want to grab this job from John and move it over to, and again, see, Fred doesn't have any work assigned to him, so I'm going to go ahead and drop it there. And notice we have on that existing repair order, it was split between different technicians. So I'm going to assign all of these to, who did I decide, Mike? There we go. So again, just another way, a visual way to organize your day, the schedule, flow of work here. We have something sitting in unassigned, so let's assign it to somebody. Drag it over to Fred. Oh, I got to change that first. We won't do that yet. I didn't point out at the top of every column for each technician, this shows the, right here, right underneath their name, it shows the amount of hours that they're working today, less the amount of hours, 4 in this case, that are assigned to various jobs, and then the available. He's still got 4 hours available to work, so we can assign him some more. Right here, Mike is overloaded, right? So we can look at this and say, whoopsie, let's get this over to somebody else. Fred's over assigned to. So we'll go over to Larry. How many? Assign all to Larry. There we go. Now, I'm just working these guys too hard. They're all over assigned, but Mike. Move this over to Mike. Now he's over assigned, but you guys get the gist. Okay. Let me put on my old man readers here.
Did you go over the priority for that? I can't say it. Prioritizing them?
I thought we did. Oh, prioritizing on the job clock, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we went over how they show up on the schedule. You know, if you want Larry to be first over here to the left, etc. We went over that in the employee record. Now we can assign a priority status to jobs for the technician so that if they're using the job clock, which hasn't changed, the only thing that has changed on the job clock is you can assign a priority status. So like if I have this marked as high, that means it's going to show up at the top of his list when he clocks in using the job clock. Now, if you have multiple ones marked as high, it's just going to go in recorder number order, I believe. Rhonda?
Yep.
Yep. But obviously, if you have a high and then one's medium, it's going to be in that order. So that'll be a great way to, in the past, there was just no way. Like all of the repair orders just showed up there and the technician, unless you were chatting back and forth or talking to each other. So this will be a help there. And we'll keep adding to these. This is all new, and we know it's not the be all end all. It's a beginning, and there'll be more to come. And of course, we welcome your feedback, because this is huge for organizing the shop workflow. Okay, one thing I forgot to mention. Kits. The kits window has changed, become a little bit more clear. So if we're in a repair order, we want to add a kit. We choose one. It's a little more descriptive now. So there was radio buttons like this running across the top, which everyone seemed to miss. So now we have it laid out with a longer description. And it describes, you know, adding this as a separate job rather than glomming this onto the existing job you have open. So, you know, you can define it as a request for service, vehicle problem, or just a free-form note. And I think that's all there, right, Rhonda? Just pointing that out. All right, let us go to parts counter. We've got some additions, changes to the parts counter per lots of requests. People telling us that the parts invoices seem to be not as robust and have as many functions available as the repair orders on the service counter. So one thing that people wanted was notes like you do on the service counter, your appointment notes. So now you're able to, in your parts counter invoice, place notes in here, and they show up down in the split view, the bottom here. So whatever, sorry, I don't have lots of items on here, but for whatever parts invoice is selected, then your notes are prominent there right on the screen. So you know, if you have, you're ordering parts for this customer, you're waiting for them to come in, and you want to have the ETA clearly visible right there for all to see, then you've got that there. And we're going to continue adding more things here. Rhonda, what else can we find? I think that's
it on the parts counter for right now.
Yeah. More to come on that.
Right.
All right, so speaking of parts counter, purchase order counter. So on open purchase orders, we've now added the ability to have notes there as well. So in the past, let's say, and this is a good example, you have a purchase order where only something on there or multiple things got back ordered. And you need to know, you know, what's going on with that, when there are parts coming. So we now have the ability to, you know, ETA next week, whatever notes regarding that purchase order, we'll put them in the ship to notes field. And then when you're on the open purchase order screen, then they're quickly available or viewable right here.
So when the status changed to back order, they could do that as well, because they've always been able to do it under open. But once it goes back to back order.
Thank you. On the open, they were able to. It's once something got back ordered, that was the key. That was the key. Yeah. Then it would kind of lock it, so you couldn't. His notes. There's our support line.
I'll mute myself a minute.
Okay. I'm going to check my notes out here. We're going to try to wrap this up pretty soon so we can cover questions. You getting any questions coming? Oh, I don't think I talked about the tile being movable, by the way. The action tile, if you grab the top up here, you can move it around your screen. Okay. And for you beta testers, you probably know that wasn't able to do that until recently. It's kind of locked in position.
If anybody has any questions, you can put them in the Q&A section.
All right. So we will close things out with this. You can now have your own email templates. So in the past, when you emailed something, you were limited to the hard-coded message that was built into the system. And now we have introduced an email editor, and that is found in the marketing menu at the top, and edit email templates. So here they're broken down into area-specific categories. So, email templates involving customers, email templates involving repair orders, and then just standard email templates. So I created one here. This would be, emailing your customer copy of their repair order with a thank you. And so this is kind of just something I threw together. You can add pictures, logo files, what have you. You can also do what's called mail merging. So right up here, you see the brackets, customer first name. So that is done by hitting the mail merge button at the top, which is right here, top right. So when you're creating your template, you can choose, first name, last name, anything that comes from the certain things that come from the customer record. That way it's prepared, ready to go. It just feeds in the customer name for you. Now, because we have that, we also have the ability to do, I know that's what that question is coming in right now. I heard it ding. That means that you can now do mass emails. So you can do marketing, service reminders, thank yous. So if I want to, so this section here is new, all new in the marketing section. So it's email marketing materials. So maybe I want to, I went to this one before. So let's say we want to do a service reminder. I'm going to select this template. So in my customers tab, by the way, I'm choosing something that I pre-cooked.
Technical difficulties, 1 sec.
Calendar.
Technical difficulties, 1 sec. He's trying to get back on for some reason. His audio is going out. Well, sorry, Keith is, for some reason, his audio went out and it's not letting him get back on. We are going to do a webinar after the 9.0 is released to do the mass emailing, how it works. We are going to be doing our webinar series again. We are updating all our videos. We're going to have knowledge bases going forward on those.
Can you all hear me now?
Now we can hear you.
Sorry, guys. Don't know what it was doing, but anyway. You want me to try to just show you this last little part?
Sure, go ahead.
All right, let's take up where this thing was cutting out here. The old technology. It's great when it works. All right, everyone can see that full screen now?
I can.
All right. So where I was going to finish up at is the ability to mass email letters or what have you. And so let's say in this customer section, I want to choose this one as a service reminder, and I'm going to select that. So this is kind of nifty, the ability to mass email a bunch of customers all at once. So we have all these different choices here, and you could define it by, let's say, last week, all customers that were in last week, I want to send mass email them a thank you, right? Or service reminders, things like that. And again, this is new. It's a new feature, and we'll probably be adding much more as time goes on here. But we think this will be a great addition that you all can use right away. Okay. Well, that's where we want to wrap things up here because we wanted to keep this well under an hour. So I think that leaves us time to answer any questions. And we just want to confine this to our introduction of version 9. As you all know, we're always working on stuff. We've got more things that have been waiting in the wings so we can get this version done that are coming later. So basically, this is what you've seen today is the major things we just wanted to point out, major changes. There's a lot of other things, details underneath the hood, but this is the most visible, I think, right?
So once you guys, we're going to roll it out slowly, hopefully starting next week. If there's certain things that you're seeing in there that you would like to see or aren't seeing in there that you'd like to see, please put in a feature request or talk with somebody in support, and there's perhaps a different way of doing this. Your feedback is greatly appreciated. Like I said earlier, we're going to bring back the webinar series. We're updating updating the videos and knowledge base.
I'm looking at some of these.
Brad says, put me on the early list, please. Sure, Brad, we can do that.
Oh, the tech logins. We'll show that. We covered that.
So Pete Malin's saying he's had multiple crashes since we updated to the cloud version. Is this a known problem? Pete, have you talked to anybody in tech support on this?
Yeah, I think we were discussing that related to MaxxTraxx the other day. That Pete. Yeah, that's Pete. There's a lot of things that go into that, so we'd have to take a look at maybe your local networking setup and see what we can address. All right. Any new questions we haven't covered?
I don't think so. I think so. Anybody else have any other questions? I think I got everybody that sent messages back to them.
I think so. All right, everyone. Well, we'll let you get back to your busy schedule. Thank you for your time. And hopefully you're excited about the new additions coming along. And we can, let's see.
All righty. Thank you for joining, everybody. We really appreciate it.
Yes. Take care.
We hope you found the preceding video helpful. MaxxTraxx team members are readily available to provide personal assistance via several methods as shown here, Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Thank you for watching.